Hey guys, thanks for visiting my channel and my video today, and consider liking and subscribing if you find value in these videos. Hey, today I want to talk about boomers and the tough choices that they are facing in retirement, and why retiring in place, that's a new phrase that we're hearing a lot about, is becoming the new norm. And I'm a boomer, right smack dab in the middle of the boomer age category. And some of these topics and statistics we're going to talk about today really have applied to me as well. Um, Interest rates. There's a lot of talk right now about interest rates, and President Trump's very interested in the Fed chair lowering interest rates, and that, of course, affects directly mortgage rates. And it's just a huge deal. I don't think most people, when they're sitting out there listening to these radio news stories in their car or at their home, understand the gravity of basis points. 20.25 basis point cut, how much difference that makes. But it's a huge deal to our economy and to boomers in retirement. And I want to explain that. In the last 15 years, interest rates for the most part have stayed pretty low. In particular, mortgage rates have stayed relatively low. In fact, they were pretty manageable up until the pandemic, and that brought a dramatic decrease in interest rates and, in particular, mortgage rates. Some of us boomers took advantage of that. In fact, in 2021 and 2022, right in that uh, little time frame, and you know what was going on and why things were so affected, mortgage rates hit 2.65%. 2.65. Well, that was a great time to refinance, and a lot of boomers did that with their homes. But by 2023, after the pandemic had, passed, and or at least the worst part of it, uh, mortgage rates went up to 7%. Currently, right now, here in 2025, at the time of this video broadcast, mortgage rates are hovering anywhere between 6.85 and 6.99, right in there. So you say, well, what's the big deal between 2.65 and 7? Well, we'll get to that here in just a minute. We'll do a little math. But um, what's happened is a lot of boomers who were planning on moving, relocating, downsizing. They were wanting to get out of a big house that they no longer need. They've raised their kids. Their kids have left. They don't need 3, 4 bedrooms. They've got a house that's starting to fall apart. They may need to replace their HVA system, their water lines, you name it, the roof, lots of expenses. However, uh, they've waited too long. They've waited too long to make a move, and maybe too they wanted to move to a more retirement friendly state. Maybe they wanted to move to a retirement friendly country, like Latin America somewhere. And but they've waited. They've waited too long. They're now stuck in a house that might just be eating them up, and they can't move. And you say, well, why can't they move? Well, I'm going to give you some examples. Let's say, for instance, you own a house, and you have a $200,000 house, and you're currently in a 30-year fixed mortgage, and you got in on those sugar stick 2.65 interest rates, your monthly payment on that 2.65 fixed 30-year mortgage, it was 800, roughly eight, rounded off. I'll round it off to $806 a month. Okay, let's say, for instance, you as a boomer in retirement want to move. You want to relocate either to you want to downsize to a cheaper house, or you want to move to a different state, more friendly state tax wise. But the mortgage rates for you to mortgage that same $200,000 is now 7.0, and the monthly payment on that is $1,331 a month. And I've done the math for you. That's a difference of almost $525 a month. I don't know about you, but if you're a boomer and as my previous video talked about, and you're not a 401k millionaire, $525 more a month in house payments is a big deal. In fact, it's a game changer. And there's other, you say, well, how big a game changer is it? That's big. $525 a month, and over a 30-year mortgage, that's $189,000. And that's why Trump is irritated with the Fed Chairman Powell. He wants these rates to come down. I want these rates to come down. But it may be the reason that boomers are stuck in locations that they don't want to be in. You might have had dreams when you were contemplating retirement and moving to Florida or Alabama or Mississippi, some of those tax-friendly states. Just about everything south of the Mason-Dixon line is a tax-friendly state. And, that's out the window with these high interest rates. And right now, it doesn't look like anytime soon, in the next few months anyway, that this is going to come down. And even if it does come down, we're talking probably a quarter of a percent. Now that helps; it's in the right direction. But right now, a lot of boomers are in trouble, and they're having to patch up and cobble together and use duct tape and wire to keep their house going, a big house that they don't need. And the other thing that's really been in the news here lately, a couple of items: mortgage insurance. Insurance on houses is getting crazy in certain parts of the country. Again, we talked about Florida, Alabama, really becoming expensive to insure your house. Um, Property taxes going up all over the country. Gosh, a lot of factors involved in affording a house and making a move, and that is why we're hearing more and more about retiring in place. And you know, I hope to make some videos about how to deal with this a little bit more, but these are realities. And if you're a retiree, or you're anticipating retirement soon, this is a real factor. You shouldn't feel embarrassed or singled out on this. This has caught a lot of people, particularly boomers, in a real catch-22 situation. Hey, again, thanks for watching. I hope to have a response to this and more videos on this topic, but it's a tough It's a tough time for boomers to be in retirement and be retiring in place.